of the toughest things we have to do as humans is to make a decision. All right. Indecision is one of the reasons why we procrastinate a lot. But here are a few steps on how you can make a decision that is worthwhile. The first thing you need to do is to understand the situation you're in. Any situation that requires a decision is something that you need to understand carefully and with so much amount of clarity. You understanding the situation you're in will give you enough information on how and what decision you need to take to correct the situation that you're in. Define the situation clearly, because if you vaguely define it, you will make a decision that will produce vague results. So define the situation and it will give you some information on what decision you need to make. Next thing you want to do is to gather relevant information. Do research if you have to. Ask questions. Know everything you need to know about the thing you want to do. A lot of people go into businesses and other things without properly doing their research, and then they end up, in a way that they never thought they could end up. So do your research, make your findings so that you can be better informed before you make that decision. Next thing you want to do is to identify possible options. There's always several options that you can make. All right. Have at least 2 to 3 other options that you can look at and weigh their pros and cons. That way you'll be able to know the best one to pick among all these options. The next thing to keep in mind is to consider the consequences of the decision you're about to make. If you're leaning towards a particular decision, you should be able to understand the consequences that will follow that decision so that you can prepare yourself and also weigh the consequences if it is worth it or not. The next thing is to trust your intuition. I've seen situations where people make decisions and then later on they say, oh, my mind was telling me to do this other thing or to do it this way and I didn't listen to it. Sometimes the mind is right, sometimes the mind is wrong. But most times our intuitions guide us to making the right decisions. Not always, but most times. So also listen to your intuitions. What is your inner gut telling you about the situation? Is it telling you to make decision A or B or C, whatever the case may be? Consider your intuition as a guide to making the right decision. The next thing you want to do is to commit and execute that decision. You need to commit to it. Be committed. Know how you want to go about it and actually do it. The only thing that stands in your way of doing something is not doing that thing. When you talk about that thing, when you plan for it, when you assign a time to it, all those things doesn't mean that you've done it. You've not done it unless you've done it. So actually do it and watch out for the results. One final thing I want you to keep in mind is to understand that you can actually review and adjust your decisions. Some decisions are not final. Okay, some, not all. There are decisions that are permanent, but some decisions are not final. So you need to understand that if a particular decision is not working for you, you have a chance and an opportunity to change it to something different that you feel will be better or more beneficial to you. We don't always have luxury of time. There are emergencies that can come up and during that emergency you have to make a decision. You don't even have time to think. In times like that, I feel that you should trust your gut. Whatever your gut is telling you at that time, with whatever little information you have at that time, just make a decision and let's hope that decision is for the best. All right, that's it for today. I hope you've learned something. I'll see you next time.